stuff. Like,
Woo! We can talk some Metal Gear Solid, son.
That's right. Let's do Metal Gear Cast.
Yes! Fucking yes, dude! Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, continue your story and we're coming back to that.
I don't know, it's just weird nowadays to see that stuff. Like, in video games have become such a huge medium that people have just kind of accepted it. And
video games aren't even nerd stuff anymore.
Right.
Like, they're not. Like, the Wii changed a lot. But now, Call of Duty really changed a lot too, because that was just like, hey, you're a jock, come play video games.
Right. Tired of Madden?
Yeah,
come
exactly.
come play this first-person shooter.
For a while.
Get killed by a 12-year-old and have him mock you mercilessly.
StarCraft, though, I don't give a fuck what year it is. That is some nerd shit through and through. I grew up on StarCraft. It was one of the first RTSs I ever played, and I adore that game.
I didn't have. I had to dial up the 56K,
Okay.
And so when I tried to play online with other people, everybody else had like cable or DSL because they lived in the city or whatever, and they'd be like, "Why is it lagging?" Like, it would just be like, eventually, everybody would realize it was me that was lagging, and then they would all team up, kill me.
Oh, dude, I rarely played multiplayer on Battle.net because like you would just get your fucking shit pushed in, dude. Yeah. It was terrible, and like, but StarCraft in general, that game has so much like aesthetic. I don't know how to word it, but it's like, it's got so much value to me in my artistic life of like the imagery it showed me, the sounds of it, the music, the whole environment.
The space sci-fi fantasy stuff. Yeah, that was so cool.
It was wild, dude. Like and still to this day, and then I bought StarCraft 2, or at least one of the 3 that came out. Yeah. And I liked it, and it was really, really cool, but by that time, I had definitely moved on to like turn-based strategy games. And so real-time strategies, because no matter what, like, real-time strategies, not a lot of strategy. No. It's like when you start playing Risk, and then you realize like, oh, it's just about stacking as many people onto one country as possible.
Hopefully you've mined enough diamonds in time. Hopefully your Vespine's not depleted.
Yeah, exactly. Vespine gas, But that's what I'm saying. I just realized, I was like, oh yeah, this is still just who can click the most.
Right.
It's like, and that's literally how they judge it in the pro tournaments. It's like clicks per minute and shit like that. And so, I don't know, I definitely liked turn-based shit after that, but it's like StarCraft, that's a game that I don't hear about anymore.
Right.
I don't hear from it. People,
it's
people talk about it a lot.
The community's moved, so like it was StarCraft and stuff like that. It was like when you get into like the esports and all that stuff, it was StarCraft. And then it turned into Dota or League of Legends. Like MOBAs moved in and took over. And now I think I think the fighting game community is coming back, which is kind of cool. Cause
I think there's been a steady incline with that.
Yeah, Street Fighter 2 is a big one, and then when Street Fighter 4 came out, that kind of revitalized, and you start seeing all that stuff. Everybody apparently likes that Dragon Ball Z fighting game that just came out.
Hip-hop has actually, I want to say, contributed to a lot of vintage gaming.
The Def Jam fight, the fighting game from Def Jam.
Oh, God, dude, Def Jam Vendetta? Oh, my God, dude, that game was so incredible.
Yeah.
Shout out to David Banner.
Yeah.
It was the hardest character to beat in that shit. But no, I'm just saying, like, hip-hop culture in general, like, I don't know, there was a time when, you know, if you were wearing a fucking Street Fighter t-shirt, that was some not cool shit.
Right.
But, like, motherfuckers all day, rappers now, like, they all have PlayStation logos and shit on them, and Dreamcast logos and shit, because we all know that's the wave. Like, we all know that shit was dope, and we're just finally admitting it now. We don't care about who does. I feel like it was just, like, the past 10 years in our society is really, I'll just say 18. Since the 2000s, really, though, it's like there's been this big fucking sigh of relief of just like, fuck it, we're tired.
Right.
Like, yo, we're nerds.
Yeah.
We're just nerds. We love this shit.
Care.
Yeah, we're obsessed with these stories and these characters and shit like that. I don't know. So, like, are you... On the nerd side of the spectrum, are you kind of... I have always classified it into, like, are you fantasy or sci-fi?
I'm more sci-fi. I dabble in fantasy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not opposed to fantasy. I just am more fascinated by sci-fi stuff.
See, that's what I love about Metal Gear Solid and the series in its entirety. And I never even fucking noticed it until I watched a recent review of Metal Gear Solid 5.
Can I just say, I love where this podcast is going?
Oh, yes, exactly. For sure, dude. This is what I'm saying, dude. I can nerd out for a while. But, like, with Metal Gear Solid, though, you know, I always loved it because I remember the first one I ever played was actually... I had seen somebody play Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation, but I didn't own it, so I didn't play it. And I was like, yo, this was the first... It was the first video game I ever saw that I was like, this seems smarter than me. Like, I was like, I'm not old enough to play this game yet. I was just like, this seems way over my head with a lot of shit, but it looks cool. I'm intrigued by it. But then I played Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah.
And I just remember seeing the detail. Because that was one of the first video games that was ever created in 60 frames a second.
Yeah, I bought the Zone of Enders game just to play the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo.
The demo, yeah.
Bad people did that shit.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of people even that's how the game got popular. Because I remember Zone of Enders was like a super popular game.
I still like Zone of Enders. Yeah, I like Zone of Enders.
Right.
But that Metal Gear Solid 2 demo, I get it. Being on that tanker and Metal Gear Solid 2 was one of I remember staying up at my friend's house who also lived out in the country. It was right around the E3 of 2000.
Yeah.
And they released like a 3-minute video and they put it online. And of course, it's dial-up, so it took me like 2 hours.
Oh yeah, for
Everybody in his house is asleep at night, and I'm on their computer watching this bar slowly move up because I'm about to watch the teaser trailer for Metal Gear Solid 2.
Right.
And I'm just like, come on, baby.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I'm 14 and I'm just like, yes, this is fantastic.
That's hilarious. Dude, because I was, I want to say, man, I was in probably the 6th or 7th grade maybe when that came out.
Yeah, that's 2001.
Yeah, and it would have been right around then, and I was just like, yo, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
I was like, this game is just I've never seen it before, but I love the detail in it. And the detail of the soldiers, and I was like, yo, these soldiers look more official than any video game soldiers I've ever seen. I was like, the guns, everything about this looks so official and legit and real. And then there were vampires.
Yeah.
And then there was wild shit.
Psychomantic shit was
exactly.
That was wild. That shit blew my mind. I was like, oh god.
They're like, maybe if you move your controller.
Put it on the ground. If you play certain games, there was some
there was a soccer game. Yeah, there's a
couple Konami games where he would tell you oh, you play this shit. Talk shit to you.
Why? If it read your save slot in there, for sure. Yeah, dude.
Then Campbell's coming over the thing with a codec going, change your controller, dummy. You're not picking up on it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, man, the secret codec on the back of the original Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, yeah,
barrels,
codec, whatever.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, God, shout out to Metal Gear Solid.
Hideo Kojima is the guy that did it. He's the creator of all that.
He is.
He did Metal Gear Solid 5, and then Konami let him go after that.
For sure.
And Metal Gear Solid 5... Metal Gear Solid 5 is technically not a Metal Gear Solid game, because he said all the proper Metal Gear Solid games would be an actual number by it. And it's Metal Gear Solid V.
Yeah.
So the V actually stands for Venom Snake. This is how trippy this dude is. The V stands for Venom Snake, the guy that you're playing as in the game.
Yeah.
That's not Big Boss. It's the weirdest fucking shit. And then, so now they fired him, and now he's making this game called Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I know nothing about.
Which
I've seen it.
Guillermo del Toro's in it.
Well, after they canceled PT,
yeah,
which was just
Silent Hills, that was the scariest thing.
Yeah, that was grimy. That was the sickest demo I've ever played.
Yeah.
I was like, this is crazy.
That one, that video game podcast I listen to, at the end of every year they do a video game, their year-end awards, and it's 5 days long, and they get total time is 25 hours for the whole thing.
Yeah.
They gave scariest, best horror game to that demo. That's
how
fucking creepy it was.
It's creepy as fuck. You go in the bathroom, there's a fucking dead baby and crying and shit in the fucking sink. It's wild.
And then they
I don't ever played it, but it's crazy.
They pulled it from just watch a YouTube video, but they pulled it from the network since Konami pretty much canceled.
They wiped it.
Stuff. Yeah, and then
Konami is one of the dumbest collectives of people I think that have ever existed on the face of the planet.
Only the gamers though.
Yeah.
Because outside of gaming, they're for sure popping. Health clubs, they have pachinko machines.
Pachinko machines, yeah, that's where they make their money.
But that's the thing, to gamers, it just looks like they're a video game company. But they're just God, these fucking video games.
Yeah.
On the inside, it's just God, this shit is so stupid.
Metal Gear Solid, even though it's one of the most celebrated video games of our generation, even actual multiple generations or whatever, they don't make a ton of money.
Right, because it takes so long in development.
They're super expensive, they don't make a ton of return. Even though they get great reviews and all that, it's according to Konami, they're just this is not business wise very smart, which I understand. But from a gamer's perspective, you're fucking with people's hearts.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? These are people's childhoods and shit. You can't be doing that. Just canceling shit. It's fucked up.
Yeah, just the idea though of military fantasy.
Yeah, he got real deep into the private militaries.
I'm sorry to interject. That's why Gundam is super fire. Because Gundam is high military fantasy.
Yeah.
And Japanese people are just fucking gods at that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Just all the time. Every single high military, anything like that is always super fire. Mecha shit. Obviously, Metal Gear Solid has a lot of Mecha shit in it.
It's just the blend of it. I'd never seen it, but like with how, because Peace Walker was the first one that really, because ultimately, Metal Gear Solid 5, Metal Gear Solid V, whatever you want to call it, that shit is...
Peace Walker was like the actual Metal Gear Solid 5, I think is what everybody's saying at this point, but like it was like the prototype for the big
exactly. It's like, Metal Gear Solid 5 was this, for sure, spiritual successor of Peace Walker.
Yeah.
Because they introduced all those mechanics, because I bought the HD collection, and I got to play Peace Walker on the 360, and I was like, yo, this is fire. I was like, if this is where they're taking the series, I was like, this fucking needs to be it. I just didn't really care for like the comic book cutscenes.
Yeah.
And I get it. It was a fucking portable game, so they had to. So. But I need my 12-hour cutscenes. I'm sorry, I like that. Like, I'm in it for that.
I remember setting my controller when I got Metal Gear Solid 4. I took like the day off work, and I remember just setting the controller down because it was a 90-minute cutscene, and I just sat back on the couch like it was a fucking movie. Just like, all right, this is great.
And that's how the second one was. That's how a lot of Snake Eater was. Snake Eater to me is still probably my favorite.
Snake Eater's awesome.
It's just
masterpiece.
Yep.
It is a fucking masterpiece.
The whole camouflage system.
Oh, the camouflage system. Why didn't they keep that? That's what I hate about 4. Because 4 basically did away with all that in a smart way.
Yeah, they had it.
But it's like, they never brought it back.
Right.
Because even in Peace Walker, it wasn't that great.
The whole you got shot, so you got to pull a bullet out and suture up the wound.
Right, exactly.
This is insane.
You need to disinfect it, and then you need to put the bandage on.
Order. That's wild.
In the right order.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And the different, I didn't even know this though, that you could just capture snakes, and that you could literally, I knew you could capture the snakes. I didn't know that you could throw the snakes at people.
Yeah, you use them as weapons.
I never knew that either.
There's
little details.
There's still things that almost all of those games that you are you'll still never fully find out, and I feel like that's why Hideo Kojima, everybody hates him because he's such a fucking egomaniac. But it's like, yo. Only an egomaniac can make you love something like he makes you love it, because people find this shit. Like in Metal Gear Solid 5, just within the past month, they hit total nuclear disarmament.
Yeah, yep.
Bro, when I fucking went back to Mother Base and I saw that fucking cutscene, I lost my shit, bro. I texted him, I texted like 2 of the people I know that are Metal Gear fans. And I was just like, yo, they've reached total nuclear disarmament.
They did it.
Because I found the website of the group that did it.
Oh, okay.
Long ago.
Wow.
Like when I first got Metal Gear Solid 5. And it was like a full website they made. It was very, very serious about our whole goal is to rid the game of nuclear weapons and blah, blah, blah. And they believed in this shit.
Yeah.
And then I saw the list of all the players. And they're like, here are all the players. And how many nukes they have and shit. And these motherfuckers sat on the internet all day just waiting for people to build nukes. I built 2 nukes in that game. And then they both got stolen within 5 minutes. Dead serious. Also, everybody in the podcast, I'm so sorry about this. But I'm not. Oh, dude, I love that fucking game series. It's so perfect. It's so bombastic. It's so fucking in love with itself.
Oh, very much.
Just fucking ridiculous.
It insists upon itself so much.
The best word to describe Metal Gear Solid is Japanese. It's just
so
Japanese.
It's very fucking Japanese.
Well,
I don't think it's as Japanese as a lot of games.
The fart jokes, crazy shit in there.
That's true.
To me though,
there's worse.
Final Fantasy is some Japanese ass shit.
Well, the scenes in Metal Gear Solid 2, and you'd hide in a locker, and there'd be pictures, the posters of the ladies in there.
I love
but
that shit.
You could press forward and you'd kiss the poster.
I
didn't even know.
Yeah,
dude.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It's just wild. It's mad perverted though. There's so much nerds that never got laid shit in video games, especially in Metal Gear games too. That was the one problem I honestly had with the game was and I'm never the first motherfucker to be calling out oh, they're sexualizing women. But with Quiet in that video game, I was like, come on, dude, you're making me feel creepy about her titties in my face right now.
I saved up
her
for
titties have to jiggle in the video game?
I saved up for her outfit.
Yeah, exactly.
And as soon as she got it, she left the game. And it was just come on.
Damn it. Yeah. No, I bought that DLC quick. I was like, nah, zip that shit up. Yeah. That's distracting. I don't need titties jiggling in my fucking video game.
Well, the whole
the real world
Sniper Wolf, it was just the start of it, and then the ladies throughout the rest of it, and it's just by the 5th one, he was just very blatant about it. It was just all right, this is creepy.
Yeah, we for sure need to do a Metal Gear podcast.
Dude,
let's get on that. Because he's the same way, bro. We're all fucking we could definitely do this.
I will come here.
And there's actually a huge lack of Metal Gear podcasts too. There's not a lot. There's a ton in Mexico.
Oh, is there?
Mexico fucks with Metal Gear heavy. And there's a ton of like all in Spanish, like 2-3 hour long podcasts of Metal Gear and shit like that. But there's not really any good like English.
We should do like a almost like how they do book clubs, but do like a game club to where we start playing through certain sections of Metal Gear, and then we come on and just talk about it. So it's just like, all right, we're gonna play up through the tanker scene with Vulcan Raven or whatever, and then like we just talk about like our favorite parts.
Because that's the thing, like.
Up to.
Yeah, I feel like if we did full game commentaries of it, that'd be dope. Because each game you could get several episodes.
That's what I'm saying. Like you could just play up to a certain point, and then just talk about that. Like, oh, today we're gonna play this chapter, and then.
I also, what I like doing is thinking about the entirety of us, because I do fan edits of movies.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So I, like the first one I ever did, I took Training Day, made it high contrast black and white, and then put the soundtrack to L.A. Noire over it. And it fucking, dude, it worked. Like, I'm serious. Like, this shit is actually really, really engaging and cool, because Training Day doesn't have a lot of actual music in it.
Yeah.
The score itself is pretty understated. So, like, the next one I did was I did Blade Runner 2049, and then all of the bonus shit that they released before Blade Runner 2049. I mashed those all together into one solid narrative.
Oh, that's cool.
Because I love doing that with editing.
Yeah.
It's just good practice for like video editing and whatnot. But the next one I'm doing is going to be a Star Wars one, and it's just going to be, I'm trying to blend Rogue One and A New Hope into like one consistent thing, but basically make it more centered around the Death Star.
Okay.
Like the Death Star being the so it's like the first couple scenes are going to be from Episode 2 when Count Dooku has the Death Star plans and shit like that, and go through there. Because that's what I love doing.
So you're just basically making your own Death Star movie at that point.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like the saga of the first Death Star.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
And so I don't have a title for it or anything like that, but I'm really trying to like kind of piece that together. So
that's no moon.
Something. But like. I'm going back through like Star Wars Rebels and looking at episodes of that for possible audio and stuff, because I just look at it as a visual remix basically.
Yeah.
And so, but it's really interesting to look at how editing can affect point of view and how you can sort of change the perspective and narrative of something. And so
it's all in editing. All movies live or die by editing.
Yeah, exactly. And so like what I would think would be cool is to like look at the entirety of the Metal Gear story from one character's perspective on each episode. Yeah. Like what was Otacon doing the entire time while all this crazy shit was going on? Or what was Miller doing? What was all these other people? And just look at it from just their perspective.
Master Miller was dead.
And look at their like individual journeys through it and shit like that. Because dude, there's some like somebody went on YouTube and compiled they did a complete cinematic edit of all of the Metal Gear cutscenes. And it was 12 and a half hours.
Sounds right, yeah.
Of just like, this is as condensed as we can make this fucking story. This is it, here. And I got probably about halfway through it in a couple nights.
Is it canonical, or is it
it's I believe chronological.
Okay, alright.
So it's not as the games go on, it's just as the story goes on. Which actually makes it really cool. Yeah. I think. Like, I don't know, that's a whole other thing. But we have to record a second podcast.
Yeah.
So we're going to shut this one down.
Thanks for having me. Oh, can I do...
Plug whatever you got to plug.
Okay, so on the Sounds of Bustown, there have been some artists that have come on that played live in front of us. And it's like one of the most amazing things for somebody to just do like a small performance view. So I've taken 10 of those tracks and turn them into an album on Bandcamp. So I had to learn how to use Bandcamp and all that stuff, so it's kind of fun. But it's called the Sounds of Bustown Sessions Volume 1, because I hope to do Volume 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. But it's $5 on Bandcamp. All the money goes towards the Dick and Jane Project. So that's pretty much why I was trying to reach out to you. I was like, hey, I need to plug something, but can I come on and hang out?
Yeah, for sure.
Bullshit about
for sure.
So that's on there, $5. Like I said, all the money goes towards the Dick and Jane Project. So I'm figuring out all that stuff, but if people want to check that out, or you can go, if you're itching for more podcast stuff, Loudcat Podcasts, so you can search, if you're on iTunes or whatever, I have a provider page, Loudcat Podcast, or search Sounds of Bustown, click Loudcat Podcast underneath it. Should bring up the rest of the podcasts that I do, so you should be able to find them, or facebook.com/Loudcat Podcasts. So, I think that's about, when's this coming out?
Not this week, but next week.
Okay, Columbus Podcast Festival, May 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th.
Yes.
Tickets will be on sale soon. Look that up on Facebook, ColumbusPodcastFestival.com. There will be over 30 podcasts live over those 4 days. So.
I'm very salty because I, number one, missed the entry deadline. Well, but I missed it because I knew I'd be on tour and gone and shit like that because I didn't get a chance to attend last year and I really wanted to. I just think that's so fucking cool. Have you ever done a live podcast? I forgot to add.
Yeah, I've done a few now. So I did. I've done a couple of Sounds of Bustowns live, and I try to mix those up because it's very hard to do like your normal show live.
Yeah.
So the first one I made it more of like I'm very. That's the thing about the Sounds of Bustown is that a lot of people that we have on, not a lot of them, some bands quit. They stop being bands.
Yeah.
Like it's very tough to get together with people and make a commitment for something. So I get that. So I had Tony and Lynn on from Zoo Trippin' for our first live show because I just wanted to talk to them about what they thought made a band stick because they've been playing music together for so long. So I was trying to make more of like what's the word I want here? I wanted to be a moderator for a panel to talk about like music, local music, stuff like that. Then the next one I did was at Independence Day Festival. I didn't get a whole lot of time with that because I was in between sets.
Okay.
So I just did like a quick little thing. It was more towards the show, but the last one I just did was at Columbus Covers Columbus.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, I just want to completely mix it up. So I did a game show. Sweet. So I pretty much did Name That Tune. I stole Doug Benson's podcast, which is another one that made me want to do a podcast called Doug Loves Movies. Where he plays the Leonard Maltin game, which is basically Name That Tune. So I did Name That Band, and I had like a total of 10 songs from that band, and they would like count, like I can do it at 10, I can do it at 9, and so I made a game like that because I thought this will be fun to do live.
Right.
So the live format's very weird. I haven't mastered it yet, but I think that I'm leaning more towards something weird like that every time, just to mix it up.
Yeah, I was talking to my buddy Chuck, Product. He runs the Rock and Roll Book Club podcast.
Oh yeah, okay.
And they did a live one in like the Upper Arlington Library. They sold like 200 tickets.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
on
awesome.
the first live one they did. They did a second live one, but they did like an RSVP thing, and I think that caused some complications or whatever. But I was just like, whoa! Like I couldn't imagine like doing that.
Yeah.
And like number one, I couldn't imagine listening to a podcast live. That's a lot to ask of somebody. I think honestly.
I've traveled to go see live podcasts. Like it's kind of fun because you're like, oh, I'm seeing you do this live.
Yeah. If it was like if I got a chance to see like if a live podcast of one that I love was coming to town, I would for sure go and see it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying like, I don't know, like that never. I'm not even a live concert guy. Like I don't even really like to go see bands and shit when they come to town a lot. But I don't know. There is something. I guess there's totally something about that. I'm just like, let's go see the thing we've always wanted.